We are under 17 days away from the trade deadline, meaning teams have just 2 weeks to make decisions to upgrade their rosters in an attempt to get ready to make a championship push. And with that, we welcome in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, and our front office insider, Bobby Marks, as well. Brian Windhorst back with us. Gentlemen, this summer, there was an arms race in the Eastern Conference between the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks. And when you look at the odds to win the conference, those two teams are far and away the favorites, and you can see followed by the Sixers, the Heat, the Knicks. So let's just dive into that secondary grouping of teams in the East here. Woj, what's the Sixers' mindset as they try to surround Joel Embiid with a roster that can get them to the conference finals for his first time ever?
Yeah, Malika, Daryl Morey, the Philadelphia president, he is always big game hunting. He always wants to be involved in big trades. There may not really be any of those out there for him, but he does have the assets in Philadelphia, largely from the James Harden trade to the Clippers, to be active if those kinds of players become available. But I think like a few of the other contenders in the East, including the Knicks, it may be role players, shooting, playmaking, another backup big.
Okay.
What Philadelphia has going for it is the chance to get into the summer and have maybe as much as $50–60 million in cap space, very likely enough for a max player. So they want to get, their best case may be getting past the trade deadline, and keeping their assets in place. But I think you'll see them do something around the edges. So
as we look at those players around the edges for now and potentially that big game hunting for next summer, Bobby, can you see what are some names that Philly might be going after here?
Yeah, Woj hit right on the head. I think you have to look at players that either are on expiring contracts or have a team or non-guaranteed option for next year. And players like Miles Bridges, who's in Charlotte, who's on an expiring contract. Bojan Bogdanovic in Detroit. Bruce Brown in Toronto, who can be traded once again. They've got 6 second-round picks. They've got 3 first-round picks. I think you want to preserve those to the offseason. And then you've got 12 players on expiring contracts, so you have a little bit of everything. I think it's important. Once we get to the night of the draft, those 3 number ones now increase to 5. So you've got 5 first, $55 million in cap space. So trim around the edges right now, preserve your flexibility, and then go into the offseason.
Okay, so that is the Philadelphia 76ers. Next up, we have the Miami Heat. I'm going to start with you on this one, Brian. What do you think the last 3 games, this skid has highlighted that this team needs?
Yeah, so as you remember, over the summer, they were really in the point guard market, first going for Damian Lillard and then Drew Holiday after that. They weren't able to get something done. Eric Spoelstra over the weekend moved Kyle Lowry from the starting lineup to the bench, and that was an interesting move and certainly one to keep an eye on. Kyle Lowry has an expiring contract of over $30 million. He would be a prime candidate to be moved if the Heat decided to re-enter the point guard market. Obviously, anybody in the NBA right now who needs a guard has checked in with the Atlanta Hawks on DeJounte Murray. I would add another name in there. That would be Terry Rozier of the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets have had some discussions about Rozier. With where they're at in their season, he's got a couple of years left on his contract, is having a very good year. Possible option for not only the Heat, but some other teams. And so that was an interesting move with Lowry. And, the Heat are going to be very mindful of that asset, expiring at the deadline. Now, that expiring contract will have value between now and February 8th. So keep an eye on the Heat as they try to, maybe take steps around the deadline to improve their chances.
Malika, we're going to do a little bit of a math lesson here. How about that?
Okay.
It used to be easy. It used to be easy back when the old CBA, where Pat Riley can go into Mickey Arison's office and say, hey, we're going to go more into luxury tax. It's going to cost us another $25 million. What these new rules are doing right now, and we can show where a player like Terry Rozier earns $25 million next year. Miami's salary is at $159. That second apron is at $190 million. Once you exceed that, you won't be able to go out and aggregate contracts in case, as Pat Riley says, that big whale becomes available. So if you're Miami, you've got to balance trying to win now, but also kind of what the future looks like in the offseason here.
And that's going to be the high wire, tight wire act that teams are going to need to walk now that we have this new CBA coming into effect. All right, lastly, though, we cannot forget about the Knicks. They already made that kind of big, splashy move with the acquisition of OG Anunoby. But Woj, is New York trying to get Jalen Brunson even a little bit more help here?
Yeah, scoring help off this Knicks bench. They made their big trade with OG Anunoby. It has paid off for the Knicks. they want to keep themselves in position to do another big one for an all-star, all-NBA level player that very likely would be in this offseason. That player's not available now, but certainly players like Bruce Brown in Toronto now, Alec Burks, Jordan Clarkson in Utah. The Knicks have the assets. They have an expiring contract in Evan Fournier to be able to do a trade in the short term for some bench help going into the postseason without compromising themselves on going big game hunting in the offseason. They have a lot of picks, and they have assets that they can use in trades. They can do something here at the deadline and not take themselves out of the bigger thing that they hope comes along for them, probably more so in this offseason or maybe into next year.
Absolutely. The Lakers, they have 8 games remaining, though, until the trade deadline. You can see here the last 6 come as a part of a road trip that includes stops against the Warriors, the Celtics, and the New York Knicks. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the Lakers. Woj is here with us. What's the mindset of L.A. heading into the second half of the season?
I mean, listen, they're in a lot the same places they were last year, knowing they needed to upgrade their talent. They have a pick available. They have a pick swap available. But I think this is an L.A. team, you go back to the summer, and they had some confidence that they might be able to sign Bruce Brown in free agency until Indiana stepped up, offered him the 2 years, $45 million. They didn't get him. He goes to Indiana. The Lakers tried to see if they could trade for Bruce Brown from the Pacers. Didn't get him. He goes to Toronto as part of the Pascal Siakam deal. And now the Lakers, they're going to continue to be on the phone with Toronto between now and the trade deadline, trying to see if there's a way that they can get Bruce Brown. Listen, he was part of the group that eliminated the Lakers for the playoffs last year. You've seen his impact on winning teams in the playoffs. I think certainly that's a player. DeJounte Murray, the Lakers have talked with the Hawks. They'll probably talk again. Atlanta is really trying to live in a world where they can get back more of the package that they gave up for DeJounte Murray, 3 first-round picks, a pick swap. It's going to be very difficult for them to get that value back. They don't have to trade him at the trade deadline. He's under contract for a number of years. I think they're trying to find a way to do it. I think for any Laker trade, though, if D'Angelo Russell is going to be in that trade and you're trading for a guard and the salaries just match up, I think D'Angelo Russell having a player option on next year's deal and the expectation that he would exercise that player option, if he's not going to be your starting point guard somewhere, I think in a lot of these situations, either you're going to have to give, I think, some more draft compensation with D'Angelo Russell, or you're going to have to find a third team that's going to need that to take on his salary. And if he's not going to be your starter, I think that makes it a little more difficult for the Lakers to find a match here on a trade.
There's some really interesting decisions that the Lakers need to make coming up here. And you mentioned them being in a similar spot now than they were last year, which isn't the end of the world. They're back to 500. They're currently 9th in the Western Conference. But, Brian, I think when you thought about retaining the team largely that went to the Western Conference Finals last year, what they were able to do, seeing where they are now, it's hard to not see that as a little bit of a disappointment. So do you think it's time, with the trade deadline only 17 days away, for the Lakers to start ramping up here, or practice a little bit more patience?
Yeah, they already did ramp it up. They've already kind of come to the conclusion that they need to do something with the roster if they can find something. I don't blame the Lakers for doing this because they did look so good last spring. Now, there was a set of circumstances in the playoffs that assisted them. They also look great in the in-season tournament. And if they watch the team play that way, it's hard for them to look at that and say, boy, this doesn't work. But they are going to do what they can. It has helped immensely over the last week and a half that D'Angelo Russell has broken out of his slump and looked very good. They are a different team when he is so offensively involved. The thing is that it's hard to count on him. He is up and down throughout his career. I think what Woj talks about with Bruce Brown and DeJounte Murray is important to realize. If they can acquire a player who can play at both ends of the court, offense and defense, and is multi-dimensional, can play multiple different positions, and doesn't have a contract that is potentially burdensome, which is like a guy like Zach LaVine would have a burdensome contract, then I think the Lakers were going to be in it. And they will try to find that mix and match. And that is what I expect Rob Pelinka has been spending a lot of time recently and will spend these next 2 weeks doing, trying to find something that will work there. Last year, he was successful in doing it, and he had to do a full team remake. He may not need to do that. He may be able to just do a tweak here and really supercharge the Lakers for the second half of the season.
Well, D'Angelo Russell has been playing his best basketball of his career the last 5 games. I mean, when he plays like that, you go, oh, that's the number 2 overall pick once. That's when the Lakers.
That's the offense that the Lakers have been missing.
Right. I mean, he is shooting the ball exceptionally well. He's creating. He's engaged. Now, is he playing like he wants to stay, or is he playing so well that maybe there's more interest in him now? Because I think before, as Woj mentioned, you might have had to incentivize teams to take him because of his contract for next year. I think the Lakers clearly need some more speed in the backcourt. They need some more athleticism and size. There's a lot of other teams that could use that. And they're not necessarily in the best position to bid on those type of players. But Rob Pelinka has been a very active GM since he's taken over in that role. And he's made a move basically every trade deadline to try to at least improve on the margins.
Look, I'm in my feelings with the Lakers. I think it's easy to say patience when they beat the Blazers, but I was starting to panic when I watched them play the Nets. Just because I feel like the Lakers, there's this expectation, which we all know, to win a championship, right? But I feel like LeBron James is in the most pressurized timeline out of anyone in sports right now. He's 39. He knows that the expectation is championship. He knows his team went to the Western Conference Finals last year. But what do they look like today? And I looked at the numbers. At this time last year, there was only one team in the West with a 650 win record, right? .650. Now there's 4. The rest of the league has gotten so much better.
Yeah.
But it feels like the Lakers have remained the same, or even some terms regressed, while LeBron James has averaged 25 and 7, and AD is playing out of his mind, and finally they get D'Lo back. So as much as I want to say there's patience, it feels like the expectations have shifted, and that just puts so much more pressure, maybe not necessarily on the Lakers for moves, but just pressure on what are we witnessing happening right now for LeBron James, because we all want this perfect type of last few years. We all want to see him compete at the highest levels. But it doesn't feel like that's a reality anymore.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. Let's go over some rumors today in the NBA, like you just heard. Start with 76ers. 76ers are a damn good team right now, and they're set to do some damage in the playoffs if healthy, if they are pretty much playing the exact same way that they are right now. They need a good role player. Or do they need a good, big-time player kind of thing? But so Bobby Marks said that they are wanting to go after Miles Bridges, Bruce Brown, but I've been reading reports that that's not the case with Bruce Brown, because Masai Ujiri probably wants a lot for him. Rightfully so. He's a really good two-way player. So what I'm hearing after Bobby Marks said this, and I had to research on this, Miles Bridges is a good candidate to be on the Philadelphia 76ers. Do they actually go and pull the trigger on him? Who knows? Tell me if this is a good option for the 76ers. Miles Bridges on the 76ers. Can he help win a championship for the 76ers? I can't see the Charlotte Hornets wanting a first-round pick for him. That's the reason why they want to go after him, because they want to preserve their picks, right? So they have 3 right now, and if they wait into the offseason, that becomes 5. So, and you got like a lot of cap space left in the offseason. So do they actually wait for a big-time player to become available in the offseason? So that's the 76ers. Let's take a look at the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are interesting. This morning, Kyle Lowry unfollowed the Miami Heat. And he unfollowed the rookie Jaquez, or whatever. Sorry if I butchered the name, but he unfollowed them. So he's going to get traded. Now, there was rumors that they were going to go after DeJounte Murray. But what I'm hearing now is Terry Rozier. Prior to Bobby Marks saying this, Terry Rozier is a good candidate for the Miami Heat. DeJounte Murray still can be in the mix. We don't know, right? But hypothetically, let's just say if it was Terry Rozier or if it was Bruce Brown, is that a good fit for the Miami Heat? Obviously, I think Bruce Brown is a great fit for the Miami Heat, but is Terry Rozier a good fit? I think he's a really good fit, but, I'll leave that up to you guys, Miami Heat fans out there. I think it's a really good option for the Miami Heat because you know, you saw Kyle Lowry's production in the last 5 games. Not looking good. And if he gets reunited in Toronto with R.J. Barrett teaching him the ropes and Emmanuel quickly teaching him the ropes as well, that could be helpful for the Toronto Raptors and could be helpful for the Miami Heat if they get Bruce Brown. But if they get Terry Rozier, I am mad at you. So get this, the Knicks pulled off one hell of a trade with the OG Anunoby trade. I was on record saying OG Anunoby is one of the elite defenders, and this guy can help any team. Take a look at what he has done as a Knicks so far. The Knicks pulled off a genius move by acquiring him a couple weeks back. But they're not done. They are not done because they are looking to upgrade their bench. And what I'm hearing, opposed to Jordan Clarkson, because Bobby Marks said Jordan Clarkson, I was hearing Lauri Markkanen as well, but let's just hypothetically say, from Bobby Marks' perspective, it is Jordan Clarkson. That's a really good pickup. That's a really damn good pickup for the Knicks, who are trying to upgrade their bench heading into the playoffs. So, you know, Bobby Marks said Jordan Clarkson, but it could be Bruce Brown, because Bruce Brown was on record saying, I'd be a perfect fit for Tom Thibodeau's system because I'm a dog. I'll do whatever, right? He said that, like, just randomly speaking. So we'll see, right? If the Knicks can get Bruce Brown, perfect. If they can get Jordan Clarkson, even perfect, right? We don't know. We'll see what happens on that note. So tell me what you guys think about the Knicks, the 76ers, and the Miami Heat rosters upgrade trade rumors here and there. Let's talk about the Lakers here for a second. Lakers are interesting. Last night they beat the Portland Trail Blazers, and D'Angelo Russell kind of got emotional. He kind of got emotional, and he's been playing phenomenal. He's been playing lights out basketball. Even though they lost to the Nets the other night, he's been playing lights out basketball. Now, is he a candidate for a trade? Yeah, he's definitely a candidate for a trade. Rumor, two individuals. You got Bruce Brown and you got DeJounte Murray. The reason why this has not been official is because the two sides have talked. Atlanta wants a third team involved. They don't want D'Lo. They don't want him. They want a third team to take him, and the Lakers to actually trade 2029 first round pick, a pick swap, and D'Lo, and they're going to transfer D'Lo to a third team and get more assets for D'Lo. So at this point, who's going to take D'Angelo Russell? He's playing phenomenal basketball. Somebody's going to take him. You know, this deal for the Lakers is going to happen. Whether you like it or not, D'Angelo Russell is going to get traded. Where? I have no idea. Right? It could be the Raptors. It could be for Bruce Brown. It could be for DeJounte Murray going someplace else. We don't know. And you got a couple other teams out there that are willing to make a move. Yusuf Nurkic off the Phoenix Suns said, hey, we need Malcolm Brogdon off Portland Trail Blazers. He actually said that. So are they going to make that move? Who knows? Do they actually have the cap space? They get that Matt Ishbia guy, sorry if I butchered that name too, as the owner. He doesn't give a crap about money. You have the Clippers looking into Kelly Olynyk. We don't know if that's going to happen. But these are just rumors. We got 16 days away till the trade deadline. So leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think about all these rumors. And, you know, are they good for the Knicks? the 76ers, the Miami Heat, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Phoenix Suns. You know, I could be missing more. The Raptors, Washington Wizards, they're willing to send Kyle Kuzma to the Dallas Mavericks because Dallas Mavericks have shown a significant interest in Kyle Kuzma, who's on a really good contract. I think he's 4 years, $25 million per. Really good in this NBA today. If they pull that off, Dallas is, oh man, Dallas. You got Grant, you got Kyrie Irving, you got Luka, you got that Lively kid, the rookie who's playing phenomenal basketball too. And if you get Kyle Kuzma, wow, Dallas is on the rise for sure. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think about all these trades, and you know, if you guys hear anything else, leave a comment in this comment section as well. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.